You know, almost every day, I'll get a whole bunch of messages being fired into me about, John, did you hear about this? John, did you hear about that? And one of the things that dominated my various message feeds today was, John, did you hear that Avengers Doomsday is officially 3 hours and 45 minutes long?
Heck yeah.
Crazy, man.
3 hours and 45 minutes long.
Not long enough.
So
To
she
which
said.
I thought, well, that's weird. And it's weird for, I mean, you can see right here, like this one's on Reddit, but it's all over the place. A bunch of YouTube channels have it, a bunch of social media channels, but Trizamite, I'm sure if I spent more time, I could find it. I dug and I could not find where this originated from. But,
Photoshop.
a lot of these people doing it, but I thought, it is really interesting because that would make it by far and away, like not by a little bit, it would make Avengers Doomsday by far and away the longest MCU movie ever. The 5th longest ever is Avengers Age of Ultron, which is 2 hours and 21 minutes. Then Avengers Infinity War at 2 hours and 29 minutes. Now, if you want to put, by the way, Spider-Man No Way Home as a Marvel film, we kind of qualified it as a Sony film, so we didn't put it in there, but that's at 2 hours and 28 minutes. Avengers Infinity War at 2 hours and 29 minutes. Eternals at 2 hours and 36 minutes. Wakanda Forever at 2 hours and 41 minutes. And the longest Avengers MCU movie, Avengers Endgame at 3 hours and 1 minute. 3 hours and 45 minutes. That's basically 45 minutes. Normally, when you're talking about breaking runtime records, you're talking about breaking it by 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 9 minutes. This is 45 minutes. But we are here to fact check. Is this report true? Spread the news far and wide, fellow munchkins of Munchkinland. Follow that yellow brick road and let the people of Oz know this is not true. It's not true. For one very important reason. Even the Russo brothers don't know how long this movie is yet. They still are going to be doing more pickup shooting in the coming months. I mean, the principal photography is done, but they're going to do some pickup shots. And the final edit is nowhere. It's not going to be locked for like another 5 months. The Russo brothers themselves do not know how long this movie is. They do not have picture lock. Now, is it possible that Avengers Doomsday could end up north of 3.5 hours? Is it possible it could get into the 3 hour and 40 minute range? Of course, yeah, it's possible. I think very unlikely. I don't think Marvel is looking, or Disney wants a movie that's 3 hours and 45 minutes. Now, if the movie's a big hit, when we get into Avengers Secret Wars, all bets are off. But as far as this goes, Rob, we talked about, I see somewhere between the 3 hour, 20 minute mark, whatever. But whether my guess is right or wrong, or your guess is right or wrong, the bottom line is nobody on the planet right now knows the runtime of Avengers Endgame or Avengers Doomsday, because as of this moment, there is no completed Avengers Doomsday. It doesn't exist right now.
I don't know. That graphic looked pretty confident.
It looks pretty convincing to me. So yeah, everybody running around spreading this. It's been revealed. The movie's not done. The movie's not done. They don't know how long it's going to be. So just a little fact check in here. 3 hours and 45 minutes. Now, Rob, listen, I want to be the first to acknowledge it's not impossible that the movie could run significantly longer than the previous, but it seems to me that if the current longest one they've ever greenlit was a eyelash over 3 hours, I just cannot see them going 3:45. Like, I think once you point out 3 hour, 3.5 might be a ceiling or something like that. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the very first time, trying something new can be tough. But on PrizePicks, it just feels great when your sports takes are right. With big playoff matchups happening every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never really stops, and PrizePicks lets you take control. Ann and I both tried out PrizePicks a while ago, and we were honestly surprised by how simple it was to get started. I put my first lineup together in just minutes, and it genuinely made watching the games with my friends more fun because we were following our player projections all night, cheering for more or less. And there's a couple of features I really love. PrizePicks now has early payouts, so if your player gets off to a hot start, you can have the option to cash out before the game even finishes. And the new social feeds feature lets you share your PrizePicks with friends or even copy winning lineups with one click. Plus, if you like flexibility, you can choose Flex Play, or if you want the biggest potential prizes, go with Power Play. So download the PrizePicks app today and use the code Campea to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Campea to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Anyway, what did you think when you first saw these 3 hour and 45-minute numbers running around?
Well, the first thing is, like, people, you've got to understand how movies are made. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, the reason this movie is taking as long as it did, the reason they delayed it, I would assume, is because of the enormous amount of visual effects that are required in this film. And the normal rule of thumb for Hollywood is that a page of screenplay represents a page of screen time.
1 minute of screen time.
1 minute of screen time.
Yeah, roughly.
Oh, pardon me.
Roughly.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yeah,
Well,
roughly
here's the
one
thing.
page of a screenplay roughly equals 1 minute of screen
Here's the thing. If you have a page of dialogue, like if it's dialogue heavy, that's rapid fire. That happens. Happens much quicker. But if it's an action scene, a page-long action scene can last 4 or 5 minutes. Let's say, for instance, John, the first sentence of a screenplay.
Careful.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I was going to say, okay.
Let's just say the first sentence or the first 2 sentences describe something happening.
That could be 3 minutes long.
That could be 3 minutes long, especially if what's happening is not fast. If you're watching something unfold, like, say, a sunrise, a character is sitting on a hill, a bluff. No. I'm making this up from a different. Yeah, like Lion King. You're looking at the sunrise over the African veldt. Let's say something like that happened, or Wakanda. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. This is not. But a sunrise. If you're watching a sunrise and a character is contemplating his fate, and that's where you meet the character, and you have a big swooping shot, a camera shot, that's eating up screen time. So if you think about it, if you think about your favorite action scene in any movie, and I tell people to do this a lot. If you want to start to really understand movies in ways you've never understood them before, watch them with the sound off. Take your favorite movie, even pick your favorite action scene. Watch it with the sound off and count the shots. Just for fun, just for your own edification, like, how many shots are in this scene? And then start to look at, okay, was this the same piece of coverage? Are they cutting back to the same close-up? Are they cutting back to a 2-shot, 50-50? What are they doing? And by doing that, you start to really understand, the language of cinema. You learn, okay, this is a long shot. This is a close shot. This is an extra close-up shot. This is a shot of someone's eyes. Here's a cutaway of somebody walking in if it's a restaurant scene. Like the scene from Heat between De Niro and...
We are going to get to the Doomsday runtime here.
Right? I was just going to say, though, that kind of thing will teach you about runtime in terms
100%.
of movies. And you can really learn the difference between how things can be. So understanding... my final point is, if you have unfinished effect shots in action scenes, you don't know how long those scenes are. And I would assume, based on what we've seen in Avengers Endgame, there's probably a lot of action sequences in this movie. Call me crazy. So those action scenes, you can have a battle scene that's 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Famously, I did an editorial piece on the Two Towers,
right,
and they had a battle that lasted 35 minutes. And they were like, this is too long. This is a tasty battle, but Peter Jackson called it battle fatigue. It was just too long. And they started cutting it down and concentrating more on the 3 main characters, Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn. And then it became a better battle scene. So you don't even know. I would imagine that Avengers Endgame or Avengers Doomsday probably has an assembly cut because they put everything together. I'll bet you that assembly cut was over 6 hours long. I bet it was 6 hours. And somebody's like, this movie is 6 hours long. But they have to cut it down. You work the movie. You cut it. And one thing the Russo brothers have done with their 4 Marvel movies is they're beautifully edited. Those films are beautifully edited. They have the right amount of action and pathos. They really nail those sequences. And so I would think that they're going to use all the time they have until they have to deliver a finished cut to get to all the worldwide distribution. And I would imagine they're going to be cutting this film way up until they have to get into scoring or whatever, because they've got the time. And so
Yeah, we're still roughly just under a year away. Yeah,
they can still do reshoots. Hell, man, they can add Squirrel Girl to this movie if they want. I'm not saying they're gonna. Let me be clear. I'm just saying they could if they're like, we have a great idea. But I mean, so it's ridiculous to start talking about, by the way, do you know what movie is 2 minutes longer than 3 hours and 45 minutes? You know what movie is 3 hours and 47 minutes long? Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Anyway, guys, bottom line is here, the movie does not have a runtime of 3 hours, 45 minutes because the movie in its completed form does not exist right now. And so you can just ignore that one going around. So fact check of the day. No, Avengers Doomsday is not 3 hours and 45 minutes long. Anyway, whatever you guys think about that, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.